Seeing that the witch had escaped from the Ice Castle's dungeon, Mia was shocked by this situation.
Gerda! Gerda, are you okay? What happened?
The witch tricked me, Mia.
Hey you! I'm thirsty. Give me some water.
Why don't you try to be a little more polite?
All right. Can you give me some water?
Here you go. I'll help you drink the water because you're blindfolded. Don't you dare play a trick. Come on, drink.
You tied my hands and you blindfolded me. But you forgot to shut my mouth. This water is enough for me now. Let's see how you will stop my magic words.
Stop! No!
These naive kids think they can handle me.
Gerda finished her detailed account.
That's it. When I opened my eyes, the witch was gone.
So that's why she wanted me away from the castle.
So you couldn't find your grandfather there where she sent you, right?
He wasn't there. She tricked us. The witch probably has another plan.
So what are we going to do? How will we find your grandfather?
We have to recapture the witch and make her talk.
We don't even know where she is. How are we going to do this?
While Mia and Gerda were talking, something unexpected occurred.
So you're going to catch me again, huh?
Alas, the witch! Mia, do something! She's tying us up!
I'm trying, but the ropes are too tight.
Don't bother. You can't get away.
The witch imprisoned Mia and Gerda.
Mia, I'm giving you one last chance to consider my offer.
Why are you giving me another chance?
So you drink the potion that will make you the Snow Queen again. If you don't drink it, I will turn your grandfather and your friend into trees. Choose.
I will never allow this.
We'll see.
What is this?
A precaution, so you're not tempted to use your magic. I'm leaving now. See you soon.
She forgot to take the key. We have to find a way to get there.
I can't get past the magic shield.
We need to find another way.
I have to drink the potion, or she'll turn you into a tree.
No, Mia, you can't be the evil Snow Queen again.
I have no choice, Gerda.
Just then, Gerda got an idea.
See that chain?
Yeah? What about the chain?
I think it can get us out of here.
How? How is the chain going to get us out?
Look, we will do this.
Mia casts a spell and turns the chains on the wall into a stick.
The stick can pass through the magic shield. Hooray!
Because it's not a magic stick, the magic shield can only stop magic.
Yes! Just a little more! Come on! It's almost there!
Okay, I got it!
Mia and Gerda opened the dungeon door and got out.
This way! Come on, quickly!
We can't go, not without knowing where my grandfather is.
We will save your grandfather, but we need to get out of this castle first. Then we'll come up with a plan.
While Mia and Gerda were talking, the witch appeared again.
Where do you think you are going?
Gerda, run! At least Gerda was able to escape.
I don't need your insignificant little friend. I need you.
It can't be! The witch must have caught Mia! Mia will drink that potion to save her grandfather. I must do something. I found it! Potion of goodness! I have to go and get it ready right away!
The witch imprisoned Mia in the dungeon again, then went to the old mill.
Do you miss your granddaughter? I came to take you to her.
What have you done to Mia?
Don't worry, your granddaughter is fine. She's waiting for her beloved grandfather. Come on.
Gerda was preparing a concoction at her home.
Good thing I learned how to make the potion of goodness. This is our only chance. The potion of goodness.
While Gerda was preparing the potion of goodness, the witch returned to the ice castle to implement her evil plan.
Here, I brought your grandfather. Now it's your turn, little lady.
Grandpa, don't worry. The witch will not be able to harm you.
Mia, are you okay? What does this evil witch want from you?
Your granddaughter knows very well what I want.
She wants me to drink that potion and become the Snow Queen again.
No, you can't be the evil Snow Queen again.
I have to, or she'll turn you into an old tree.
Gerda finally accomplished what she had set out to do.
The potion of goodness is ready. I hope it works. I have to save Mia at once.
Your time is up. You know what to do.
Mia, don't drink it.
Here is my beautiful Snow Queen with an evil heart.
Let's see if Gerda's potion can turn Mia back after she turned into the Snow Queen and save Mia's grandfather from the witch. Kids, you can find out by watching our story, Return to Goodness. Fearing that the witch would turn her grandfather into a tree, Mia drank the Snow Queen potion, and she turned into the Snow Queen again.
Your will is my command now, Great Witch.
Oh no, Mia!
Excellent! The first thing you will do is turn your grandfather into ice.
My grandfather? Do I have to do this?
This is a test. If you turn your grandfather into ice, only then will you indeed be the Snow Queen.
All right. Your request is granted.
Mia, get yourself together. I'm your grandfather.
It doesn't matter anymore. I am the servant of the Great Witch.
She's not Mia anymore. She's now the Snow Queen.
You tricked her. She drank the potion to save me.
I did Mia a favour. I gave her strength back. Isn't that so, Mia?
I am grateful to you.
I'm leaving, but I'll revisit you. We'll celebrate that you're my Snow Queen once again.
I'd be honoured, Great Witch. I'll be waiting.
Having turned into the Snow Queen, Mia took her grandfather to the throne room.
You wait for me here. I'm going to hunt a duck to present to the witch at tonight's celebration.
I'm your grandfather, Mia. You're not a wicked person.
Enough! I am now the Snow Queen, the witch's servant. And when I come back, I have to turn you into ice.
Gerda, who had set out with the potion of goodness she made, arrived at the witch's castle.
Where is Mia? The witch is not here either. Oh, that's a crow. I'd better ask him.
The crow explained that Mia had turned into the Snow Queen and imprisoned her grandfather in the ice castle.
Mia drank the potion, so I must stop her before she harms her grandfather.
Gerda entered the ice castle quietly.
Now that Mia is a Snow Queen, I must be even more careful. I see Mia's grandfather. He's over there.
Gerda, what are you doing here?
I'm here to help. I'll get you out of here.
The key is over there.
Come on, hurry up. Where is Mia?
Mia went hunting for a duck for the evening celebration, and when she returns, she'll turn me into ice. How are we going to get her back, Gerda?
I have a plan.
What plan?
I hope this works.
What's in that bottle?
The potion of goodness that destroys evil.
I trust you, Gerda. I want to help too.
I will do my best. But you have to get out of here. I don't want Mia turning you into ice.
Okay, but please be careful.
While Mia's grandfather is walking towards his house, Mia, the Snow Queen, returned to the ice castle and saw her grandfather in her reindeer-drawn sleigh.
That's my grandfather. He's escaped from the castle. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be at the castle!
Come on, Mia. You're not wicked. Turn back into yourself, please.
You have to accept that I am the Snow Queen now.
Look what the witch has done to you.
I'm going to turn you into ice tonight. But now we're going back to the ice castle together.
Mia, the Snow Queen, brought her grandfather back to the castle.
Mia is back. Oh no! She's got her grandfather.
It would be a mistake to wait until evening to turn you into ice. Goodbye, Grandpa.
No, Mia, stop. Don't do it.
She turned her grandfather into ice. That's unbelievable.
Now I've become a real Snow Queen, evil and cruel. Now I can start the preparations for the evening.
Mia sets the table for the feast to honour the witch by casting a spell.
This looks so good.
But she didn't realise that Gerda was watching her.
She set the dinner table.
Now I can tell the witch that I'm done.
I have to be quick. I hope it works. It's my only chance.
Mia, the Snow Queen, talked to the witch using her sphere.
Tell me, Snow Queen, do you deserve tonight's celebration?
Of course, Great Witch. As you can see, my grandfather is now an ice sculpture.
Lovely. We're going to celebrate.
With pleasure, my esteemed witch. I'm so proud of myself for being so evil. I smell cherry of evil is my favorite. Yum!
Please, let the potion of goodness work.
Mia took a sip from the glass that Gerda had filled with the potion of goodness and...
What's this? What's going on?
Hooray! It worked! The potion of goodness destroyed all evil.
Gerda? What's going on? Grandpa, what happened to you?
Gerda told Mia everything that had happened.
The witch will pay for what she has done.
When the witch came to the ice castle, unaware of everything,
But you? How?
Here you go. I still have enough magic power for you. Gerda, thank you so much for everything. I'm glad I have a friend like you.
so they left happily and set out for their peaceful home.
Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a beautiful queen and a handsome king. The queen was not only beautiful, but she was kind and generous. Her people loved her dearly. She always helped people and wanted her country to always be in abundance. The queen always longed to have a daughter. One day, as she sat embroidering by the window, she daydreamed of her future daughter. In a daze, she accidentally pricked her finger with her embroidery needle. The blood from her finger dripped onto the white fabric she was embroidering. At that very moment, a shooting star crossed the sky. The queen made a wish.
Dear God, please send me a daughter. Let her be so beautiful that everyone admires her. Let her have pink cheeks, black hair like mine, her lips as red as this drop of blood, her eyes as bright as diamonds, and her skin as white as this very cloth. She should always smell like the flowers in my garden. Let her teeth be as white as the pearls on my neck.
A short time after that, her wish came true, and she shared the good news with the king and announced that they were expecting a baby.
My queen, wish what you will from me. I'll get you the most wonderful gift.
My health is not as good as it used to be. What I ask of you is to protect our child from all evil. Please promise me that you'll protect her. There's nothing more I wish for.
When the time came, the queen gave birth to a very beautiful girl. Just as she had wished for, her daughter had black hair, red lips, bright eyes, skin as white as snow, and smelled like flowers. They named her Snow White because of the whiteness of her skin. Soon after, the queen's health deteriorated and she passed away. The young king was very sad. While he mourned his beloved wife, he also tried to raise Snow White as best he could. When Snow White turned 5, a big ball was organized at the palace. The king was celebrating his daughter's birthday and also choosing a new queen. At the ball, there was a beautiful woman who had magical powers. She used these powers to dance with the king and cast a spell on him and married the king and became the queen. Snow White's stepmother was a very beautiful woman, but she was also vain, cruel, and evil. From the day she arrived at the palace, she despised Snow White. She saw her as her rival. The queen also had a magic mirror. She always consulted the mirror about the future and would ask,
Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
My dear Queen, it's you. You're the most beautiful woman in the world.
And so, time passed by. Snow White became a very beautiful young girl. Those who saw her could not look away. As she strolled in the palace gardens, the wind that brushed her hair would spread her flowery scent. Birds and butterflies would always follow her around. And her voice was so heavenly that when she sang, birds in the gardens would go silent and listen to her. One day, the Queen asked her mirror,
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
My Queen, you are very beautiful, but the most beautiful girl is Snow White.
The jealous and cruel Queen got so angry that she held the bottle in her hand at the magical mirror.
How is that possible? No one's more beautiful than me. Summon the princess at once.
Meanwhile, she had locked up the king in the palace dungeon and told everyone that he was away working for his people. She also summoned the palace hunter and gave him strict orders.
I want you to kill Snow White and bring her heart to me as proof.
Snow White, who had no idea of her fate, came to see the evil queen.
Dear Snow White, you haven't been out for days. You must be bored inside the castle. I'd like you to bring me some strawberries from the forest. This way you'll be able to get some fresh air. You'll have a good time, don't worry. I'll send you my trustworthy hunter with you.
As the princess picked strawberries with the hunter, they got deep into the forest. The poor hunter was very sad.
How can I harm someone with such a good heart and such beauty? There must be another way.
The hunter couldn't bring himself to kill her. They sat under a tree and he told her about the queen's evil plan.
My princess, please go far away. If the queen finds out what I've done, she will kill both of us.
He immediately hunted an animal and brought its heart to the queen.
Aha!
The princess spent the night under that tree. She was so scared. At dawn, she went on her journey. After a long walk, she reached a small house and went inside. She looked around in amazement.
What is this place? Everything is so small and there's 7 of everything. 7 small chairs, 7 pairs of forks and spoons.
Since she was so hungry, she made soup with the ingredients she found in the house. She ate and went upstairs. And then she fell asleep in one of the small beds. At night, the house owners returning from the mine were actually the 7 dwarves. Their names were Doc, Dopey, Happy, Grumpy, Sneezy, Bashful, and Sleepy.
Hey, what's this? It smells like delicious soup.
No! It's like someone entered the house.
Come! Look! There's a girl sleeping here!
The commotion woke up Snow White. She was scared when she first saw them. She then told them everything that happened to her.
My name is Snow White. I don't mean any harm. I don't have a place to go. That's why I took shelter here. Please, let me stay.
Of course, Princess. We are not going to let you stay alone in the forest, don't worry.
You are our first guest who makes such delicious soup.
Time passed by. Days and weeks. Snow White and the 7 dwarfs were laughing, having fun together, and living a peaceful life. Meanwhile, the evil queen, not knowing that Snow White was still alive, asked the mirror again.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
My queen, you're beautiful, but Snow White, who lives with the 7 dwarfs, is more beautiful.
Ah! How's this possible? The hunter must have lied to me. First, I will get rid of Snow White, and then I will teach the hunter a lesson.
She immediately worked on an evil plan. She poisoned an apple and disguised herself as an old woman to trick Snow White.
Hello? Anybody home? I'm so hungry and I ran out of food.
The 7 dwarfs had warned Snow White to not open the door to anyone. But Snow White felt sorry for the old woman that came to her door, and so let her in without a doubt.
Please come in. Welcome. Thanks, my child. I got so tired and hungry in the forest. Do you have something to eat? Yes, of course. I have some soup.
After finishing her soup, the evil queen, disguised as the old woman, offered the poisoned apple to Snow White. The princess took a bite and fell on the floor, falling asleep. The old woman turned back into the evil queen and happily went back to her palace. When the 7 dwarfs who came back from the mine in the evening saw her laying on the floor, they thought that she had died and so were very sad.
We should make her eternal sleep comfortable. Let's make a nice bed for her.
A handsome prince who was walking through the forest heard the 7 dwarfs crying. He got curious and approached them.
Oh my, what's going on here?
He was very surprised when he looked to see who was laying in the crystal bed surrounded by flowers. She was the girl who had been in his dreams for days. The smell of her hair was still all over the forest.
Who is this beautiful girl?
Her name is Snow White. We haven't been able to wake her up.
They told the prince everything that had happened. The prince lifted the crystal cover to give a farewell kiss to the girl of his dreams. He kissed her on the cheek. At that moment, something unexpected happened. The spell broke and a miracle occurred. Snow White opened her eyes and got up in bed. The 7 dwarves and the prince were very happy.
You are the girl of my dreams, Snow White. This is the best day of my life. Will you marry me?
First, I need to find my father and tell him about everything that happened, and also get his blessing.
They went back to the palace and got the king out of the dungeon. The evil queen fled in fear. The prince and Snow White got married and lived happily ever after.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, lived a boy named Aladdin. His father passed away when he was very young, so he was in charge now of supporting his mother. He would help people in the market and try to earn some money to bring food home, because they were very poor. But Aladdin was kind-hearted, so everyone loved him very much. One day, on his way to the market, a well-dressed, evil-eyed man approached him.
Hello, young man. I need to ask you for a favor. I dropped my ring into a small crevice just ahead. I can't get in. Can you go in and get it for me?
Together, they walked toward the crevice where the man had pointed out. The hole was just big enough for Aladdin to enter. He barely went through the hole. Inside, there was a small gas lamp which lit a cave. It was full of gold, money, and jewels. The man called out from above.
If you found my ring, you'll also see an old lamp there next to it. I want you to bring me both of them.
Aladdin was shocked at the sight in the cave, so he got very suspicious that the man only wanted an old lamp and a ring, while the place was filled with money and jewellery.
This doesn't make any sense, but... Okay, I'm coming out.
When he came to the top of the hole, the evil-eyed man yelled at him.
Hurry, give me the lamp!
No, I need to get out first.
If you don't do as I say, I'll leave you in there. Give me the lamp!
I said no. Let me get out first.
The man got very angry and trapped Aladdin there. Aladdin didn't know what to do in the dark, so he took the lamp and put the ring on his finger. At that moment, green smoke came out and a genie appeared before him. Frightened, Aladdin hid right away.
Don't be afraid, Aladdin. I will do you a favor. I will grant you whatever you want. But you only have 3 wishes.
Please take me home.
This was Aladdin's first wish. Suddenly, he found himself in his room. At that time, his mother, who was also in the room, asked, "Ooh, when did you come in?" Aladdin told his mother everything that had happened to him.
I didn't have anything to eat today because of everything that happened. Do we have anything to eat, Mother?
I'm sorry, son, but we have nothing to eat since you didn't bring any money today. Desperately sitting in a corner, Aladdin wanted to spend time cleaning the lamp, which was very dirty. He took the lamp in his hands, and as he was rubbing it, all of a sudden the lamp genie came out of the lamp.
Say what you wish of me.
Oh my goodness, who are you?
I'm the lamp genie. You saved me from that sorcerer. So now your wish is my command. Say what you wish of me.
My mother and I are starving. We want a table full of food. Can you do this?
Suddenly, a table full of different kinds of food appeared. Aladdin and his mother ate until they were completely satisfied. From that day on, thanks to the magic lamp, a very rich and happy life awaited them. And that's what really happened. Years passed by and Aladdin became a young man. He was at the marrying age.
Mother, I would like to get married.
My dear son, I'm so happy. You'll have the most beautiful girl in the country, and I know just who that is. The Sultan has a beautiful daughter. Her name is Jasmine. What do you say? Aladdin immediately appeared before the Sultan with a small chest full of jewels and told him of his intention.
Dear Sultan, with your permission, I would like to marry your daughter.
It's not that easy. Will you be able to grant my requests?
Whatever you ask, dear Sultan.
Then listen to me well. You will bring 100 soldiers, These soldiers will protect my palace, but all of them should have solid gold hearts in their hands.
Your wish is my command, dear Sultan.
Aladdin went back home and took care of this with the help of the lamp genie. The next day, the Sultan saw in his garden 100 soldiers carrying solid gold hearts in their hands.
Well, since you managed this, I would also like you to build a magnificent palace for my daughter. Only then I will agree that you marry.
Aladdin immediately called the lamp genie. He gladly did whatever Aladdin asked for because he owed his freedom to him.
Say what you wish of me.
I want a magnificent palace for the Sultan's daughter.
The lamp genie clapped his hands twice and a big palace appeared next to their house. Since all of the Sultan's requests had been granted, he approved the marriage. They had a wedding ceremony that lasted 40 days and 40 nights. They soon moved into their palace, and one day, a salesman was passing in front of the palace.
Old lamps! Old lamps! I buy and sell!
I can sell this old lamp to the salesman and get a new one. I think Aladdin will be very happy. The salesman, in fact, was the sorcerer Aladdin met when he was a child. He took the old lamp and gave a new one to Jasmine. The magic lamp was now his. In the evening when Aladdin returned home, he noticed that the palace was gone. He immediately figured out what had happened. He put on the magic ring and called the giant.
Say what you wish of me, but you only have 2 wishes left.
Take me to Jasmine. Hurry up.
All of a sudden, he was in the palace. When he went upstairs and peeked into the open door, he saw Jasmine serving the sorcerer and preparing the table. Aladdin got upset and waited for Jasmine to come to the kitchen. When she entered the kitchen and saw Aladdin, she was surprised. Aladdin, what's going on?
Shh! Be quiet and wait. I will save you.
Aladdin put the ring on his finger right away, and the giant appeared before him.
You only have 1 wish left.
Yes, I know. This is my last wish from you. Freeze the sorcerer and turn him into a sculpture.
All right, here you go.
Suddenly, the sorcerer froze and turned into a sculpture. Aladdin had his lamp once again, so he called the lamp genie.
Say what you wish of me, but don't ever lose me again.
Take us and our palace to our old place. Also send this evil man to a deserted island where he can't hurt anyone.
The lamp genie clapped twice and the palace appeared next to their old house. Their mother was also with them. They told Jasmine everything. After that, Jasmine, Aladdin, and his mother lived a very rich and happy life together.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a woman who desperately wanted a child, but could not bear one. She cried every day from sadness. One day, as she cried, a fairy appeared before her.
Why are you crying? Tell me, maybe I can help.
I have no one. I want a daughter. She would be a friend to me.
Okay, don't cry anymore. I'm going to give you a seed, plant it, and place it where it can get plenty of sunshine. Also, sing to it every day.
When it grows and blooms, you will see a surprise. The woman did everything as the fairy said. She sat by the flower pot and sang to it every day. One day, she saw a small sprout. Soon after, the sprout turned into a pink rosebud. The woman was so joyful and happy. One day, as she was smelling the rose, she kissed it. Suddenly, the rose petals slowly started to unfold. Inside was a blonde-haired, pink-cheeked little girl as small as a thumb. She was so shocked and delighted. She realized why the fairy had given her that seed. She immediately took the girl into her palms and started talking to her.
My beautiful girl, welcome to your home. I'm your mother. Your name shall be Thumbelina.
She immediately made a cradle for her out of walnut shells, a bed out of violet leaves, and a blanket out of rose petals. Thumbelina was so happy with her mother. She sang songs and danced with her. Her mother filled a cup with water and placed some walnut shells inside. Thumbelina would ride around with the leaves and shells for hours. Time passed, and Thumbelina had grown, yet she was still tiny. One night, as Thumbelina was sleeping in her bed, an ugly frog entered through a gap in the window. He stared at Thumbelina as she slept.
She's so beautiful, just the perfect girl to be my daughter-in-law.
He slowly picked her up and placed her next to the pond in the garden. His son immediately ran towards his father.
This girl who is to be my wife is so beautiful, Father. Let's keep her on this lotus flower until we prepare everything so that she doesn't escape.
In the morning, Thumbelina, who opened her eyes on the lotus flower, noticed she was in the middle of the pond, was very scared and so started crying. All the fish in the pond that heard her voice swam towards her.
Why are you crying? What's wrong?
What am I doing here? I was happily sleeping in my bed. I opened my eyes and I'm here. I want to go home to my mother.
That ugly frog and his son put you here. Apparently you're going to get married. Don't you want to?
No! Help me, please!
All the fish started gnawing at the stalk of the lotus flower rooted at the bottom of the pond. As the stalk broke, the lotus started drifting with the wind. It floated all the way to the side of the pond. But this time, a beetle living on the tree saw Thumbelina.
Oh, an interesting insect that doesn't look like us. Let me take it home so my friends can see it too.
He immediately grabbed Thumbelina and took her to his home in the tree. His friends were very surprised. It looks just like a human. Take her away. We don't want her in our home. The beetle thought he had upset his friends, so he took Thumbelina and left her in the forest. Thumbelina, who was incredibly hungry and thirsty, was trying to drink water from the flowers. Since she couldn't find anything to eat, she felt weak. The weather was also extremely cold, so she started shivering. Her clothes were even for summer. She walked for a long time to find some shelter. Finally, in front of a small pile of soil, a door appeared. She knocked on the door with joy. An elderly lady mouse opened the door.
I'm very cold and very hungry. Please take me into your home. And who are you? My name is Thumbelina. I'm gonna tell you everything that has happened. But first, can you please take me inside? I'm so cold. Come on in, beautiful Thumbelina.
When she went in, Mrs. Mouse fed Thumbelina until she was full. And she told Mrs. Mouse everything that had happened to her one by one. As they were living together, one day, someone knocked on the door. They had a visitor.
Oh, welcome, Mr. Mole.
Thank you. And who is this beautiful girl, Miss Mouse?
Let me introduce you. This is Thumbelina. We live together now.
Very nice to meet you, sir.
Admiring the beauty of Thumbelina, Mr. Mole was now visiting Mrs. Mouse's house every day. He would bring lots of gifts and food to get Thumbelina's attention. After some time, Mr. Mole decided to speak to Thumbelina.
Thumbelina, I like you very much. I'd like to marry you and start a family. That is, if you would like to, of course.
Mr. Mole, thank you very much. You're a gentleman, but I'm not thinking about getting married.
At night, Mrs. Mouse wanted to speak to Thumbelina about this. She thought Thumbelina could be happy.
You don't want to get married, but let's just go to his house together. If you change your mind, you'll see what kind of a home he'll be living in. What do you say?
Actually, Thumbelina didn't want to marry Mr. Mole because moles live under the ground without seeing the sun. This was not appropriate for her. She was a girl of sunshine. Thumbelina didn't want to break Mrs. Mouse's heart, so she followed her and headed straight to Mr. Mole's home. But before they got there, they saw an unconscious pigeon on the way. Thumbelina ran right over to it. She wanted to know what had happened. When she carefully examined it, she realized that the pigeon's wing was injured. She rushed back home, grabbed the first aid kit, and returned to the unconscious pigeon. She dressed the wound and wrapped it tightly. The white pigeon that opened her eyes even managed to drink some water. "I'll never forget your kindness, Thumbelina. One day I will help you too." At night, Thumbelina talked to Mrs. Mouse.
Dear Mrs. Mouse, there are a few things I need to tell you. First of all, I don't want to marry Mr. Mole. He belongs to the underworld and me on Earth to the sun. Also, thank you so much for everything you've done for me. You saved my life, but I miss my mother and my home very much. I will ask the pigeon to take me home as soon as she heals.
Okay, Thumbelina, as you wish, as long as you're happy. Anyone in my place would have done the same. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Same here, Mrs. Mouse. I will miss you very much.
A few days later, the pigeon was healed. "I'm better now, Thumbelina, and I need to go. Do you need anything?"
Yes, I would like to ask you to take me home. Can you do this for me?
With pleasure. Thumbelina bid farewell to Mrs. Mouse and climbed on the pigeon's back. They flew up in the sky. In order to not fall from the wind, Thumbelina held on tightly to the pigeon. They finally arrived at Thumbelina's house. Mrs. Pigeon dropped her off among the flowers in the garden, and she thanked her again as she soared towards the sky. Thumbelina, who was finally home after months of being away, ran to her mother and gave her a big hug. Her mother was overjoyed.
God, what a beautiful day. I'm so happy. We're finally reunited. Welcome, my beautiful girl. I've missed you very much.
I've missed you too, Mother. I'll tell you everything I've been through. Let's never be apart again, okay?
After all that had happened, Thumbelina never went far from the home. And she played with the flowers in the sunny garden. One day, she noticed a very special, sparkling, beautiful flower like the sun.
Wow, what What a different flower. I don't think I've ever seen it around here.
Thumbelina jumped from flower to flower and approached that flower. And right at that moment, the petals of the sparkling flower opened up. Thumbelina, who saw a handsome tiny man just like herself, was shocked.
Oh, who are you?
I'm this garden's fairy. And you, beautiful girl, who are you?
My name is Thumbelina. My mother chose this name because I'm so tiny. This is our garden, but I've never seen you here before.
Both the flower fairy and Thumbelina had never come across anyone their own size. With this astonishment, they liked each other at the first glance. As time passed, they would wander around the garden, play games and spend time together. And one day...
Thumbelina, I'd like to ask you something. Will you marry me?
Thumbelina was very happy upon hearing his proposal. Because finally someone who she loved to spend time with, whom she could always live with among the flowers, and if she married, could live close to her mother, had proposed to her.
Of course, my prince.
As a wedding gift, the flower fairy sprinkled Thumbelina with fairy dust, and all of a sudden, Thumbelina had wings. The flower fairy and Thumbelina lived happily ever after in her mother's garden.
Come on! Download our game now! Collect the apples and create your own Snow White style.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived with her mother in a village near the forest. Her grandmother had made a Red Riding Hood for her. She loved it so much that she wore it everywhere she went. That's why the people in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. She loved visiting and spending time with her grandmother who lived on the other side of the forest.
Lived happily ever after.
One day, the lumberjack who lived in the forest came to Little Red Riding Hood's house to let them know that Grandma was sick.
Is there anything that you need?
Her mother, who heard this, prepared medicine from different herbs and called out to Little Red Riding Hood.
Sweetheart, I prepared a healthy tonic for your grandmother. I also prepared her a healthy meal. Please bring these to her at once. Don't wander away, stay on the path, and don't talk to strangers, please. Of course, Mom. I miss Grandma so much. Give me the basket and I'll go right away. Don't forget to tell her that we love her so much. Okay, Mom, of course I will.
So, Little Red Riding Hood went on her way. It was a sunny morning. There were butterflies fluttering around. She was singing and dancing among the butterflies on the way to her grandmother's. Birds were singing in the forest. She held tightly the basket of food and medicine that her mother had given her. There were so many beautiful flowers around her that Little Red Riding Hood got distracted and forgot what her mother had warned her about. She wandered off her path and went into the forest.
What beautiful flowers. I'll gather some and make a bouquet. Grandma will really love them.
While gathering some flowers, she didn't realize that she had wandered off her path and had gone deep into the forest.
These are nice. These are nice too. These smell better. Oh no! I think I'm lost.
As she was trying to find her way back to the path, a giant wolf suddenly appeared in front of her. Little Red Riding Hood was so afraid that she screamed, dropping her basket to the ground.
Where are you going in such a hurry, little girl? What is your name? You're so sweet.
People call me Little Red Riding Hood. I'm taking some medicine and some food and some nice flowers to my grandma because she's sick.
You don't need to be afraid of me. I am not a bad wolf. Look, you dropped your basket. Here, take it. I just want to help you.
Actually, the wolf was thinking about the food in the basket. He thought that he would never go hungry again if he could also have the food in her grandmother's house. He befriended Little Red Riding Hood so he could fool her. He was a sly wolf.
Thank you for helping me. You are so kind, sir. But I need to hurry up. My grandma's expecting me. Because she's so sick, I need to bring this nice medicine and food to her. Otherwise, she won't get better.
Is your grandmother's house so far?
Just a little ahead near the pine trees. Somewhere between them. There's a small cottage.
Okay, then you continue gathering flowers, sweet little girl. I am glad we met. Take care.
Once he learned where the grandmother's house was, the wolf hurried and took the shortcut to the house. The old lady asked from the inside when the wolf knocked on the door.
Who is this? My dear grandchild, is it you?
Yes, it's me, Grandma. I brought you medicine and food.
The door is open, dear. You can come in.
The wolf barged in happily. He grabbed the grandmother and locked her in a chest. He then wore the grandmother's clothes that he found in her wardrobe. He put on her hat and glasses and lay in bed. Under the covers to wait for Little Red Riding Hood. Meanwhile, Little Red Riding Hood, who could not find her way back, realized that she was lost and started crying.
What am I gonna do now? Oh, why didn't I listen to my mom? She told me not to go off the path.
A hunter who was in the forest heard the girls crying and approached her.
Why are you crying, little girl? Don't cry.
I lost my way in the forest while picking flowers. My grandma's sick and I need to bring her medicine.
It is very dangerous to walk alone in the forest. Don't be afraid. I will take you where you are going.
Thank you so much, sir.
So, may I ask you something? Have you seen a wolf around?
Yes, he was here a few minutes ago. He asked me exactly where my grandma's house was. He ran away and disappeared.
Oh my God, we need to hurry. We need to stop him before he hurts your grandma.
They quickly headed towards the house. When the little girl knocked on the door, the wolf, imitating the grandmother's voice, asked who was at the door.
My dear grandchild, I've been expecting you. The door is open. You can come in.
Little Red Riding Hood didn't recognize her voice, but thought that it was due to her illness.
Okay, you are safe now in your grandma's house. I'm going back to the forest to hunt that wolf. Don't forget, I'm always around.
Little Red Riding Hood stepped in and sat by the bed near the wolf and asked why it was so dark inside. The wolf had drawn the curtains. Little Red Riding Hood was very surprised that her grandma had changed a little because of her illness.
Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have. Why are they so big?
All the better to hear you with, darling.
Oh, Grandma, what big eyes you have.
All the better to see you with.
But Grandma, what big hands you have.
All the better to hug you with, my dear child.
And your teeth? What sharp teeth you have.
All the better to eat the food you brought me.
When Little Red Riding Hood heard his real voice, she realized that it was the wolf that she had met in the forest.
Help! Help!
The hunter, who hadn't gone far, turned back and went inside. He hit the wolf on the head with a piece of wood so he could let go of Little Red Riding Hood. He tied the wolf up and took him far away from the forest.
You bad wolf. I finally got you. The forest will now be free of you.
The hunter saved the grandmother and got her out of the chest.
Little Red Riding Hood, that'll teach you. Don't ever disobey your mother's words. All this happened to you because of that.
They ate their meal together with the hunter that had saved their lives. The grandmother took her medicine and started feeling much better. Little Red Riding Hood ran back to her house before it got dark. She would never disobey her mother again.
KONDOSAN